Okay.
Welcome, Candace.
Hi.
Hi. We're
Super
just like we're just having like athletic girl episode today.
I love it. I love it.
So cool.
My whole weekend has been Athletic Girl episodes.
Yes,
Yeah.
athletic metal girls.
Yeah.
We love this. Um Excellent like healthy role modeling. So tell people who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Candace. I am the singer of Jericho. I scream in a hardcore metal band. Yeah. Been doing it for gosh, what is this? The 26th year, maybe since 98. For a long time.
She's a
And
lifer.
yeah, for like ever and ever. Yeah, and I do a lot of things. But yes, that is what I do.
Just before we started, we were chatting all about marathons and triathlons and skating and all the like sporty sides of things. So that's like a really cool part of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so we were talking, yeah, about the this weekend. So yesterday I just competed in a race. I raced. I always say compete because I did compete in powerlifting for a really long time and I was like a pro powerlifter. Like that I didn't start doing sports till I was in my 30s. And then when I decided to do a sport, it was like let's lift all the heavy weights and then like became obsessed with it. And then about like years ago it shifted, so now I'm doing more like endurance sports. So I did a race this weekend, a sprint triathlon, and yeah, it was amazing. I had three other lady friends that were doing it with me. It was so super sick. And that is where you swim, you then bike, and then you run. And then my partner did a half Ironman today, so it's been like a crazy weekend of movement and driving from one thing to the next, and
Oh,
like got right in. And he's like, if you look tired, just tell him you did some things. The
that's funny.
thing, it was my third triathlon, and I PR'd and everything. So I ran faster, I biked faster, I swam faster, and it was my first time swimming in ocean, which was
Oh,
out of water.
that that's so fun. Oh my gosh, an ocean swim. Like
Yeah, it was intense.
that is super cool. How many miles is a marathon? Do you know?
So a marathon is what is it, 26.2. Yeah, 26.2. And
Hmm.
so for the sprint that I did, it was 3.6. I'm like, no, that sounds like nothing compared to a marathon. But we
No.
do like quarter-mile swim, a 3 mile bike ride, and then a 3.6 mile run on this. They can like change, they can vary. So like my partner did like a mile swim and then a 52-mile bike ride and then a half marathon, which is like 13.1. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty hardcore because like when I think about like I'll skate for like 13 or 14 miles each time I go. And when I'm done that, like I go through like two bo big bottles of water and at the end of it, I'm a tomato. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it feels so good and everything. It's like
Mhm.
working out is just such the best mood enhancer.
It is.
Um, okay, well, hopefully that got everybody warmed up for what kind of
Yeah.
conversation we're gonna have. So,
Talk.
when did you first realize that you loved rock and metal music and that you wanted to be a part of creating more of it?
Oh my goodness. So I started listening to like music that I feel like had an intention and gave me a purpose when I was in 7th grade. Anything before that I kind of just listened to whatever my parents listened to or some of my friends, but music that I like sought out on my own was 7th grade. I kind of got into the like drug-free movement then and started listening to Minor Threat. So I had my first show was Mustard Plug, which was like fun ska, right? And it was just it's really what got me into live music, understanding that music was more than just what was on the radio or what you listened on your radio, right? That you can like go and you can actually experience music outside of yourself, right? And then finding Minor Threat was a band that like I realized that there was like a message to it and there was like a position that you could take on something. And then hardcore was that was like really what rooted me in music because it like gave me a purpose, and it was music with a purpose. And I started going to shows very young and it just became a huge part of my life. And then a local band called Earth Mover, they just opened up that community for me and made me feel like I was a part of something. And so of course I would like sing along, and that's like what got me really into like recognizing that like I could do this. This is, I can get on stage, I can be empowered, they accept me right on stage. This is totally normal. And when they decided to start a new band, which half of the members from Earth Mover is Walls of Jericho, that's like, it was like a no-brainer for me. I'd already started being in a band with a band called Apathy, where it's two singers. And that really helped me get over like my stage fright that I definitely had for many, many, many years.
Mm.
um, Continued with Walls of Jericho, but like he helped me just like get on that stage, and like he was my friend and we used to like dance together all the time. And then with Walls of Jericho, I was like, I know these guys, I feel comfortable. And it opened me up to realizing that I could just do it on my own, and make it about what I wanted. So that was so at a young age. I was still in high school when Walls of Jericho started. I was just starting. It was the summer before my senior year.
Wow.
So yeah,
Oh my God.
it was intense. So I'd been with Epiphany the year before. And yeah, so but it started going to shows at like 15. So kind of, years of building that community and seeing these things and figuring out my purpose. And yeah, that's what got me there. It was pretty awesome. And
That
then we
is
started
awesome.
crazy. And I actually didn't finish high school because I what was it? I missed too many days, so they like automatically got an automatic fail.
Wow.
And so at that point I was living on my own. I had already left home. And so I was like, well, I need a job and I'm doing this band. So like I just didn't finish school. I finished school later in my life. I went back and got my GED and did all that. But yeah, it was pretty intense. Pretty cool.
Wow. Well, that's actually a great story. I think for a lot of people returning to school, I've had like a couple people in my life, um, just like that's actually a pretty important achievement to go back.
Yeah.
It's like really scary for a lot of people, and it really affects their self-worth to
Yeah.
feel like incomplete about their education. One of my friends just got his bachelor's and in like a very great cool science, and like I was like, I always knew you were smart, like of course you can do this. But and now it's like opening the world for all the people I know who went back.
That's, I
um
mean, the places that are scary that you need to go,
I have nightmares about going back to high school all the time. I graduated,
Oh,
everything like that.
I
But
think we can skip
I
that.
I was in trade school in high school, so I didn't do all of the math, and I have nightmares that I have to go back to high school math.
Oh my gosh. So when I was in school, like math, yeah, was not my subject, but as an adult, I actually loved math, and I was like surprised how well I could do with math when I could actually sit down and focus. So
Hmm.
you just kind of never know. You never know what you're going to be interested in.
You never
Yeah.
know, everybody.
Yep.
Take it from
Yep.
the lady herself. You can
I
do
do.
it.
I love to be a beginner. Like I do really love to be a beginner and like learn new things. And I'm constantly putting myself through continuing education, and yeah,
Yeah.
gotta,
Yeah,
yeah.
same. I have to say I relate to that. I love to try to learn a new skill every year. I take a class in something like different, and they often connect and build. So I love being a student. That's like why I like this interview series so much. I get to learn from everybody all the time.
Oh, that's
And
great.
you know, I think it's also really cool that Earth Mover became Walls of Jericho, like the Neolithic, prehistoric Walls of Jericho, and the Earth Movers like matched perfectly.
Yeah, actually, yeah. And was we did like it was like some different people from Earth Mover, but the guitar player, the bass player, I think the drummer they had at the time, and yeah. So and I think Earth Mover actually just did some stuff lately, which is amazing. That like that scene is still there and still so rooted that a band can come back like 26 years later, and do something. Yeah.
You make an interesting point. I always like to try to read up on people's bands before I interview them, and I found your band's Wikipedia page, but I did not find your band's Metal Archives page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, are you on Wikipedia but not on Metal Archives? Like so unusual. Um, okay, so back to the questions. If your music were a movie soundtrack, what would the movie be about?
Okay. So I'm glad I thought about these beforehand. I would think our music would be more like a Mad Max style, like the newer Mad Max. Old Mad Max are great, but the newer ones are just like there's just so much energy and like beautiful scenery to them. But there is so much of like them fighting for like social justice and like the uprising of the underdog. And I think that that is totally where Walls of Jericho would go. You know, we have that uprising, we fight for social justice, and we're always trying to overthrow something. So
Nice.
that that is what I picture us doing.
Um, okay, so if you could, all right, this question I actually changed and I didn't get to tell you. So you
Ooh.
have two options. One of them, the new option is easier. The hard option was if you could play a tour with any three bands alive today, who would you choose? But if you'd like, you can actually answer the question. Um, if you could create a lineup for a festival, who would you like to see there?
Oh my goodness.
I feel like the second one's easier because it's like,
Shows like like a play with or whatever. I can kind of maybe do both of them. As like because we've played a lot of festivals, right? That we really loved. We pretty much played all the festivals we wanted to play. Is like playing with the bands that we get to like sing along with, you know, like, or that's maybe for the memories. I don't know. So like I really so for I think of the records. This was the records one, right? The original records question. What was
oh,
the original?
oh, you're right. I jumped over it. So
I'm like, I got here.
got this. All right.
Here.
So, okay, we can do the records. What are three vinyl records that you would like to have?
Oh, okay. Okay. So three vinyl records that I like to have. It's Joan Baez, one of them. You could always get me a Joan Baez one. I love her. Like bring it kind of old, little old. Love Joan Baez. Diamonds and Rust. That's a really good record that I love. I was thinking Metastopheles, like Deicide, Metastopheles.
Okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
really, really love that record. And then any Falling Forward record. Do you know who Elliot is?
Nope.
And Falling Forward is more of like indie rock stuff, but like so he was one of the first bands I ever heard scream. So and if you were to
Oh,
look right, it's like screamo emo type of stuff.
uh-huh.
But he just like I remember like him just changing the way that I like saw emotions in songs. Like
Hmm.
his voice was so powerful and but the music was so emotional. So I think that really hit me when I needed it to. So and then he ended up being the band, they're Elliot, the band called Elliot. So he
Okay.
just Elliot, but like in Falling Forward, he always had this screamo type of thing, like Sam I Am. And so they existed for a very short time. And so they don't have a lot of stuff. So I'd like love any I'm Falling Forward.
So a rare one. Yeah, it's interesting trio. Ooh, Joan Baez. You know who the first person I heard do any kind of like guttural extreme vocal was actually Kate Bush in the song Get Out of My House, where she does
Oh,
the big
okay.
squeals.
Yes. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I
Girls did
think
it first.
that what we pick up.
Girls
Yeah.
did it first. Okay, so now the other question is
Yeah.
play your tour with any three bands, who would you choose?
Okay. So that would be I would pick the bands that we've played with. Okay. So this is the new question, right? This is the one that you're popping up.
Yeah, we're sticking with the script now. I'm confusing.
Okay. So let's see. The bands that I would okay, wait, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, the bands I would tour with. What did I even like? I didn't want to come. I was like, I don't want to yeah. Okay. That we would tour with. I feel like that is not the question. Okay. So let me think. Let me think. Um, one, I love touring with people that we know. So it's like hard for me, right? Like I would love to see bands live. Now, when it comes to touring, you never know what you're going to get.
Hmm.
And touring is all about like the vibe that you have and the vibe that you can create on tour. And so I would think about our friends. So like which is also connected to that like the memory that I have, some of the great memories that I have on stage are like singing with bands that are my friends and being able to share the stage with them. So like the Red Chord, I absolutely love them as people. Sick of It All, love them as well. And always love being able to like be a part of like sharing the stage with them. And so like at this third one, let me just bring someone that like would totally Rush.
Okay.
for
Yeah,
Rush. That would be, I love Rush. And I've actually never even seen them. So I think it'd be really cool to
I bet they
play with
would be cool live.
them.
Oh, I haven't seen
That's
them live either.
like, is it'd be like so drastically different from like the other bands, right? Like, because they just have this insane, like beautiful performance, I'm sure, like stage show along with like their music that there's incredible. So yeah.
Love it. Okay, now we're going to be less confusing. Looking back, what was a big decision you made that turned out to be a great choice?
Okay. Yeah. So I have a couple of those ones. And I really like this question. Oh, it's happening right now. One of them is being a mother. So like that was huge for me. Because we had been touring like full time as a band, and I had made a decision that I like wanted to halt what we were doing so that I could, you know, start this journey. And being a female, it's obviously a completely different commitment, you know. That meant that meant almost 2 years off of
Hmm.
like the right thing and being there. And
Hmm.
so that is a huge decision that I made. That was obviously an amazing decision. And then another one of was
Wait, before you go on, I just wanted to say some of your fellow rock goddesses that you might be able to connect with and get a really good friendship with on that topic. Unleash the Archer singer. She has a 1.5 year old,
okay.
and she's touring again. So she'd probably be somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Ursula from T Rocks is maybe about a decade into motherhood, and she had her baby and brought her newborn on tour.
Yeah.
Went
Yeah.
right into it.
That's like, if you can be in that situation, that is like ideal as well, right?
She's a
Yeah, you gotta
wild, wild girl. So
have, you know, we're a little too like under that. You know, to Patsy's 12 now, my daughter. So I actually would feel more comfortable if like we were on a tour like sometimes we used to do persistence over in Europe when they had that going, where they would like supply the buses for everybody. You had a place to go. There wasn't just a backstage. Like when we go out on the road, we don't do buses. We do minivans. Like, you know, we stay at like like cheap hotels. Like we keep it like easy, you know, and practical. And so for me, I never felt very comfortable putting her in those situations because they're, you know, not ideal. But like I love when someone can do that because it's just so beautiful to be able to share that experience with their child, you
yeah.
know.
It,
I love
Ursula is entirely unique. I do not recommend anyone try to do anything that Ursula does unless you are Ursula.
right.
Um, and there's one other, the drummer Emily Merrick is Canadian and she has 2 children too. So there are some mother rock goddesses
Yeah.
mothering out there. All right,
Yeah.
give us
And
more
then
stories too.
with that like same thing is that like you know, going into the decision to like start a family with just not knowing what was going how things were going to like end up with that. So my next best decision was actually returning to the band. You know, I remember specifically our bass player calling me and being like, look, he had 2 children already. He's like, you're gonna like want to keep this version of yourself because it's so true to who you are and be able
Oh.
to do something for you. And I yeah, so that was the second like best decision because I do very much as a parent believe that we the old way of like sacrificing for your children by sacrificing everything for yourself, I don't believe in. I believe that we sacrifice, but I believe that we show love by showing the passion that we create in our own lives to like model for them.
Yeah.
So even though like, and now I choose like the way we tour is directly related to my daughter. I don't want to tour much when she's in school because I want to be there. That's a choice, right? And then like we do stuff more in the summertime and we do shorter tours because that is what I am comfortable with. That the choice that I made. I know everyone can do it however they want, but at the end of the day, you got to do it the way that you feel is right for you and your
Yeah.
family.
Hmm.
That was and it's a wonderful thing being able to like step back on the stage and like still have that person and still be, you know, still see yourself that way. So
That is so beautiful. I'm like nearly moved to tears.
oh my
Like
god.
Like, I got goosebumps while you were talking. And there's just like so much about what you said that's so legitimate, and you're the first person I've ever heard like explicate it so well. And it's like, yeah, you do need to hold on to yourself, like as we go through many changes in life. And like it's a horrible thing to let go of something you love and that has like been with you for so long. And then just like finding the balance, like to be so healthy and like self-aware, to be able to work from like such a broad and open-minded perspective as you have is amazing. And role modeling, yeah, like you're role modeling for her, and you're role modeling for so many hundreds of girls that watch this channel right now, and who maybe are like, oh, I'd like to like go into music, but I'm afraid of running into this part. And like
Yeah.
now you're showing how
Yeah.
very possible it is to basically be like heavy metal weightlifting mama Barbie girl. That's
Right.
all.
Yeah. You gotta try, you do it, do all the things you want to do and just to make them all okay. That's just like how it goes.
I love. Do you have another part to this answer? Is there any
Uh,
other big decision from the past?
um, let's see. Um, I do think, and we kind of already touched upon that, is like, another big decision was continuing to like work through my education, like going back and not being afraid of that, even though it was something I was so far away from. I had spent so many years and kind of built my own life around not needing it. But then I also felt like that, like limitation from that I could only do so much without having it.
Mhm.
So, braving that and then continuing to do it. I just got my guiding certification. So like my life just keeps taking like different paths and like being willing to like continue to learn. And I just started a business. So like these are like kind of big things that
Yes. So
yeah, my
many.
started a business together, Jenny, we called Nature Nomads, and we like take women on adventures. Like we make it accessible to like go out into the wilderness and like camp and hike and like sleep in tent, you know, make
Stop! You're so
it.
cool.
I mean, so,
Wait, where do you do this?
uh,
I need to write
so
it down.
so yeah, oh my God, we
Tell
just
me
did our
about your business.
so it's called Nature Nomads. And oh my God, I could realize I have all of a sudden in my face. We create experiences. We actually do everything. We don't outsource to any like bigger companies. We want to make sure that like we're doing it ethically the way that we want to do it. Because if you're going to use land, you got to do it the right way, and you got to like give back as much as you can. And then we really want to create like an educational experience for females to like, and women to learn how to be independent like in the outdoors. I know for myself, like I had to learn it this way. And I learned it through other people, which was wonderful. But a lot of times when you first start, other people are kind of leading the way, right? And you're gonna
Hmm.
learn all little by little, like little mistakes, and like you're, especially if you're female, like getting like the wrong pack and like getting the heavier pack. You're like half the size of a man, but you're
Mhm.
carrying the load. That might not work out well, right? So learning all these little things. And then yeah, the next one that we're doing is in Yosemite National Park. We're going to do a couple days of camping, and then we're going to do a couple days of like day hiking. And we're going to make it to where like we have a lot of the big expensive things like supplied, like the tent, if you need a sleeping bag, if you need a backpack. But like we give you a gear list, we give you a comprehensive training program so that you can like physically get ready for it if that is like the limitation. If you've never backpacked before, we want you to know that we're going to be there like every step of the way, and that it's doable and it's achievable, right? Like this is what,
Wow.
like, to make it accessible and less scary, and to do it with other like amazing women. So that is, yeah, so we started the
That
company
sounds so fucking fun.
Zion. Yeah, we went to Zion National Park last month. It was incredible. And then yeah, so we're going to Yosemite in September. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Oh, that's so cool. I have to like make sure that you DM me your website so that everybody watching this can find that. Otherwise, all I'm gonna have is like your band camp. We need
Oh
more.
yeah. Thank you. That
Um,
would be wonderful. Yeah. Thanks.
so not for camping. What's your favorite gear and what's your favorite stage wear?
Okay. So my favorite gear ended up being a wireless mic, which I never thought, right? And everyone's like, oh, wireless, but I always had this issue of stepping on my cord and ripping it out. Like, and then our band would move around on the stage so much that I'd constantly like roll my ankle on the cord or like mic or step on it, rip it out. Like we end up having to replace so many mic cords that the wireless mic ended up being like the best thing for me to be able to like jump out into the crowd and like move around and like jump off things and not worry about like wrapping around somebody and breaking it. I did have an issue where because I wasn't used to it being wireless, I would like move and accidentally whip it across the room.
Oh,
I'm like, hey, can someone grab that? That'd be great. Can you send it back up? Or just like a windmill and like bang it against the back wall. But but that was ended up being one of my favorite pieces of gear because it gave me freedom. And then as for the ladies, like a sports bra. When I realized that I could just wear a sports bra on stage, that like opened up my world. I was like, just no messing around with nothing and just feeling comfortable, allowing myself to feel comfortable. I think that like that piece of gear like on my body that like I no longer needed to kind of I don't know, care about exactly. Of course I care about what I'm wearing just because like that's all we all do. But like letting go of certain like needs, right? And then what else did I have? I had written some so yeah, a pair of flat shoes. I mean, I'd like played in Converse. That was like my favorite like shoe wear like for about 15 years until I realized it was messing up my feet.
Yeah.
Arrow, I finally accepted that I'm a wide foot person. And so now I wear Vans because they are also flat and they have great tread and they're a wider toe box. And then, foot health matters. Let's take let's
Oh yeah,
change.
yeah. Because I was just talking to Ekaterina from Escuela,
Okay. Yeah.
and she was talking about the same thing: shoes, flat shoes, and space for your toes, because she had a narrow-toed shoe and it didn't allow her toes to spread, and ultimately it hurt her back. And she's like
Yes.
working with an injury at this point.
Yeah.
So
You're definitely affect your hips, which affects your back. Like,
uh,
get older, they end up getting like bunions and like my pinky toe was like jamming out because it was getting pushed in so much. Yeah, it can run right up the chain of the body. Yeah.
see,
Isn't it crazy? The
this
body's
is the
crazy.
stuff we need to know. This is the stuff we need to know.
So
Self-care on stage.
oh my gosh. Okay. Do you even know where the heeled shoe came from? I found this out in my mind.
I think it's like France, and like men wanted to keep their feet out of the mud.
Oh, almost. Very close. Very close. Military, because
Oh.
they had to put their foot in the stirrup
Oh.
during war.
Oh.
So their toes became pointy so that they can get through that little part of the stirrup while riding a horse. And
Oh.
then heel dropped down so that the foot wouldn't slide out of the stirrup. And then of course people like idolized like, the heroes and
Oh.
like that type of shoe, even though that was the purpose of it. And so it became a fashion. So I thought that was so interesting.
Yeah, it
um,
really is.
and it's just so funny because wear a flat shoe. Like don't mess up your back.
Oh shit. That's a real challenge for me. It's gonna be vanity versus like spinal care. But
Just,
shoot. I guess maybe I have to like I'll just wear like orthopedic shoes unless I'm on stage. I
there
don't
you
know.
go. And strengthen your glutes. That's a big thing. Make sure you have a strong butt.
You know what? Yeah, I'll just do extra back days in the name of wearing heels. So,
Spring work, extra back. It'll be fun.
I mean, it really isn't anything as powerfully motivating for me as vanity.
So speaking of that, I also really love a waterproof mascara. That is like the only makeup I wear. So because my eyelashes are completely blonde, it's just facts there. Okay. And no, it's nice to look like you have eyelashes. So
You're
I wear
telling me. So actually, you're not the only person to give a very like, womanly piece of advice like that, because Danica from Viper Witch was like, if you're going to use makeup setting spray, you can use it in layers. You can put your foundation on and spray it, and then put on all the rest of the fun stuff and spray that, and it'll work so much better. And it really does work a lot better. So that was a good pro tip, honestly.
I will pass it on to my daughter because she does makeup way better than I do. And she actually does her makeup, and it's, I am very minimalist with that stuff. So, but yeah, I'm gonna pass that on.
Oh man, I got a good tip for some waterproof eyeliner too. The Sephora brand of the felt tip eyeliner, everybody. It's so freaking waterproof. I have to use micellar water to get it off, and I really got to rub.
Yeah,
So,
did wear eyeliner, the MAC one, the MAC Wicked liquid eyeliner would not come off. Even I would not
oh,
think never budge. Yeah.
I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember. Yeah, someone's wife actually told me about that on tour when I was young. Yeah, I was gonna,
That's
got
what this community is all about, you know. These are because there's nothing more annoying than losing one of your wings. So, so
only
what's a
side. Can't have that happen.
what's a performance memory that you'll never forget?
Okay, so that is where like just performing with the bands is when we are on tour with the band and we become like close enough with them, or I become close because I'm pretty introverted, so it takes a minute for me to like open up. When I get to like get close enough with them and we've been out with them enough to where like I want to go out, like, and feel comfortable enough going out and singing with their band, that is those are huge memories for me. Like I always remember them. And then another one was when we played Ozfest. So we were playing Ozfest, and people tend to like throw water bottles and heckle you and like be all stupid while you're on stage. And I was in a mood, and it was a good one that day. And so some guy like whipped a water bottle at me on stage, and I like picked it up and I was like, "Hey everybody, let's throw water bottles. Get your water bottle." Like, and I started throwing a water bottle out, and then just like the stage just like poured with like water bottles and all these different cups, and it was like you're just hailing all over the place. I mean, the stage manager of Ozfest were not happy with me at all. It actually became a rule that we were not allowed to do that, but it was like one of the most fun times we had on stage, and everybody really enjoyed it. So,
Sounds like
so that
a
was
food fight.
huh?
Sounds like a food fight.
It was basically that. It was a hardcore metal food fight.
Love it.
Yeah.
Um, so do you have any new announcements for us?
Oh my goodness. Well, we are actually working on a record. It's been a long time, but that's how we do it. Because again, just like why we would be the underdog movie and like, Mad Max, like tearing down the government type of thing, uprising. If somebody tells us we have to do something, we're probably not going to do it. And with anything, there is that like they want you to churn out things, that they want you to do it on this date, and like, oh, we're only going to like support your band if you do this. And we have the record label that we work with, like the Napalm. They're awesome. They understand like our position. Like I don't want to feel rushed or feeling like my creativity has to come from like being like money motivated or like that. So we have just taken our time, and we have a different guitar player. I don't know if you know that. Like, so that is probably an announcement that we've never really announced. One of our guitar players, Mike, who's been with us from the beginning, has retired, which is amazing. Like
Mhm.
Florida, he's married, he's doing his thing now, and he just kind of doesn't want to have to like, make this fit into his life anymore, but just because he's ready to like be kind of, done. So we have a guitar player, Chris, who we've known forever. He's been in so many bands that we've played with, and we've literally known him for like 20 years. So he started playing with us this past like year and a half, 2 years, and it's just like magic on stage. I don't know. Like the energy is just so wonderful with Bobby and him and Aaron and Dustin. It's just like it's made us like want to write a new record. And so, we've demoed some stuff. I'm working with Greg from the Red Chord to like they send me stuff and I go and I demo with him, and yeah, so we're working on that. We have a tour in August. Again, still trying to just keep it where we can like maintain everything, maintain motherhood, maintain like we all have careers. Aaron owns a tattoo studio. Like Dustin tours with another band full time. Bobby works on bikes and cars. Like Chris is just having his first baby, so that's really exciting. He won't be with us in August because he's got to go do that thing, you know.
Gotta do that thing.
Got to do that thing. It's so
Yeah.
exciting. So we're real people doing real things, and like really watching out for each other, and so we make it work on all of our time, and hopefully people understand that. That's all we can ever hope for. So yeah, so we'll do some stuff.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of exciting when a band is like, I don't know, not like accessible all the time. And like when they do play a show, it's like it's just extraordinary because it's like not, constant.
Yeah.
Um, so that's really valuable. And plus, like, I feel like those bands that do that, where they space it out a lot, tend to bring more energy to those tours because
Yeah.
it's refreshing and exciting and different and new for them too.
It's like playtime, man. I know when I got on the stage and I'm just like, let's have some fun. Like it's just like, I think it is because it is not like our main source of like income, which a lot of bands that is, and it's incredible that people can do that for a living. And then, but you're driven in this way that like I said, you feel like you have to like run. You have to like work what everybody wants you to do. Right.
Mhm.
And this way it's like just like when we go camping, just like when we go hiking, like it's just a
Yeah.
beautiful experience that we get to have with people, and the people that are there that like enjoy our music and still do, like it just means that much more for us.
Mhm.
We're not just
Yeah.
so.
That's so interesting. Like it's interesting what you have in common with the other mothers that I've interviewed. All of you are people who are um extraordinary. I feel like there's another word I could use, but you're extraordinary at balance in your life, all of you. Every mother that's been on this show has been the type of women that have the most versatility in
Huh.
their lives. They have like really rich lives where they have like multiple things that they can manage and they have the balance. It's just like a interesting. It's like it's kind of exciting actually.
What's the formula, right? It's like how are we doing it? I really do think so much of it is just passion. When you are willing to find the things that you're passionate about, you make time for them, and you
Yeah.
make them work because you care about them all so much. And if you do, you can make that work. And it's all about the people around you too that are willing to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are I noticed like the mothers are more careful about having inner circles.
Yep.
And I would also call all of you multidisciplinary, really, because like to be a mother is to like master a lot.
Yeah.
And it's also yeah, and it's like you have many, many skills. So it's interesting. Mothers are so cool. Um
Also kind of not letting we're not being defined by just being mothers. I think that's, there is um but that is a very traditional way of being a mother, and I think we're kind of redefining that, which I think is beautiful.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely redefining it. You guys are real role models. It's like yeah, it's very interesting because I think something that a lot of women are afraid of with motherhood is losing their own personal identity to
Yes.
it.
And it absolutely does happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And but at the same time, like all four of you have shown that that's actually like you can mitigate that and manage that and like hang on to like being like a rock goddess and all the other wonderful things that you guys are doing. So it's interesting. I think it's almost like a new mode of being that way, of being a mother that I don't think that like my generation necessarily had. I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but I
Yeah,
see a
I
lot
agree.
of it, you know?
I, yeah, I did not. I think that really cool things are happening right now for like our daughter's generation. I'm like, man, we're doing, the women right before us are doing so much too, and we are doing so much. And it's
Yeah. You know what? I will say we've got a whole new type of grandmother too.
yeah, yes, we do.
They really like the winery.
Oh, oh my goodness.
and motorcycles. So
Like, they're not giving themselves either, Yeah, they're still,
no, no.
that is what it's all about. Search, yeah.
Yeah, my mom just got a new certification this year. Like last year, she became, or maybe it was like a few years ago, she like became an apiist, so bees. And then this year, she's like a master gardener. It's like her new thing. So she's got this incredible garden with bees everywhere. It's amazing.
Oh my God.
Um,
Oh, that's what I have a pond. I have a wilderness pond. So,
tell me everything about your wilderness pond.
so a couple years ago, I did a pond in a pot, like in the backyard, right? Let me see if I can make this work. I didn't want to use any like type of electricity. Like I wanted to be like self-sustainable. And so I did everything with like oxygenated plants in the garden. So no filter. And I didn't want fish because if you do fish, you can't like let all the like natural animals come through. That's not
Yeah,
natural
yeah.
backyard. so I did a pond to pot. It worked out well. And then I like dug out this like pretty big pond and like have like little dips and like a little like walkway like in the middle of it. And so
Oh, that
um
sounds so
I,
cute.
it is super cute. And I have frogs and snails. It's ridiculous. So people like not people, animals, wilderness animals actually come and like you get the birds, of course, but when you get a frog, they will always come and lay every year they'll come back to your pond. And I
Oh,
didn't know until I started it. So I thought it was pretty cool. And then like I had some snails. And when you have snails, you have a good like ecosystem happening and they'll
oh.
eat algae and they'll keep things going.
So
So
you got way into this.
I got way into like, my oxygenate the bottom of it, keeping it fresh so you don't have mosquitoes. And then you have to have like the floater plants because that's like what the frogs like to hide underneath and they need to feel like they're sheltered and secured from the birds. And then you have the plants that grow out because if you do have the right kind of plants that grow out, you'll get like dragonflies that'll come and then they'll land and they'll have their little babies in your pond.
Okay, so this is like a whole ecology, like, okay, I think I know what you're gonna do next.
have a giant, we have a giant garden in our backyard too. We have chickens. We like,
Oh man, you're so lucky. I can't wait till I have a chicken space again. All I've got is just this one little tropical chicken for
oh,
now.
he's cute though. I love it. Here's a
So we are going to play the vinyl game. If you've ever seen any episodes of this series before, it's always the same game. I will hold up two pieces of vinyl and you will pick one that you would like to talk about or learn about if it's new.
okay.
Hopefully it won't be too hard. I try to pick stuff that I think people are going to like, but when you told me that one of your three vinyl was going to be Joan Baez, I realized I could have done something very different. But anyway,
I love all music. I'm a weird. I love everything.
Betty Davis or Burning Witches?
Ooh, oh, let's talk Betty Davis. I really like Betty Davis. So much attitude. So tell me, what do you like about this record? What are we
Oh,
talking?
okay. Well, gosh, what do I like about this record? It's almost like anti-music sometimes because like she's like speak singing a lot and she's
Yes.
just like sort of spitting and growling and all
Yep.
kinds of grit. So what I really like about her is like she's like a less rhythmic Janis Joplin.
Oh,
I don't know if
right.
it's fair to say it like that, but
It's.
um,
I see what you're saying. Like, there's that same like no apology, like just doing what she wants to do, how she, giving the world exactly who she is, how she is raw. Yeah,
mhm.
I love it.
Plus, I love her like personal story. It's like not getting hurt. He just screams like that. So he anyway, I like her personal story. I think it's crazy that she married Miles Davis when he was 20 years older than she was. Um like but okay. And then I also like that she was in Vogue and guess what? There's one in the next round that we're about to do. There's another rock goddess that was in Vogue. So I kind of love like the model musician mashup. I'm into it.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like rediscovering. I was like a
Sure.
model when I was a child, and
Okay.
so I'm like rediscovering that I actually still like it. I'm just like a little late.
A lot of like security, personal security, like very, you have to be very confident in, and that's it. I think that's a really cool like characteristic to have. So It's
It's a lot
awesome.
of like dance too, like being aware of like what you're doing with all your bones.
It's awesome. A lot of body awareness.
Yeah. Okay, so next round, like I said, as promised, once again, another Vogue model, Jinx Dawson, and then also we've got Janis Joplin.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, Janis Joplin. Absolutely. I love it. What was it? We were just talking about her today, actually, that it's like really hard when you think of like old like people you'd want to like play with, right? And share a stage with. Like I absolutely love to see her and stuff, but like think about like the way they lived their lives. Kind of crazy, you know?
Because they like, it's like they didn't know the drugs were bad.
I'm like, like I'm just thank you. Learned from you as well, Janice. Good job. I
We
don't
didn't.
you have to learn the hard way, you know, it's kind of sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, at least we got to like watch
Yeah.
instead of participate or like Stevie Nicks like 7 years of Quaalude addiction.
Brutal. Yeah.
So
Self-care. Take care of each other. Let's normalize taking care of each other.
yeah, let's normalize learning from other people's mistakes.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we love Janice anyway. She's
Love her anyways.
sure
Love her.
did, she sure did know how to move on stage.
Oh, beautiful voice. Incredible. Yeah. Stage.
Bopping around.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so oops. How about Mean Mistreater or Bonnie Tyler?
Oh my God. Wait, what's the main song? I have talked Bonnie Tyler because oh my God, Greg and Katie, my Greg from the Red Chord and Katie, his wife, like they absolutely love what's the song? What's the Bonnie Tyler song on that record? What's the biggest song in that one?
Oh, on this one?
Yeah, because it's
Mm,
that one.
Faster than this. No, Total Eclipse of the Heart
Yeah,
must be the one.
that's what it because they always they do record day where like they put records on. They were just listening to this record, and like every time it comes to the car, you know, we all can't help it. And like I'll be driving in my own car and it'll come on, and like I take a video of myself singing it and send it to them.
Of course. This whole album is full of like songs I freaking love. Like
Yes.
Faster Than the Speed of Night is so good.
Yeah.
And It's a Jungle Out There is super inspirational to me. One that I wish was not on this album though is Going Through the Motions. I really hate the intro to that song. It's like a I guess you know what the intro is, right? From your friends, right? So it's like a schoolyard of kindergartnens screaming these repetitive words, going through the motions, almost like a cheerleader chant, and it gets right in there. It's just
Not
terrible.
it's not the one you want. Yeah.
Uh,
Not the mood you're looking for. Yeah.
no, because it's like such a good album, and then it gets to that, and then you're like, oh man, make it stop. But yeah. So Mean Mistreater is a Texas band, female fronted, of course, as you can see from
Awesome. Okay.
Janice. She has been on the show. Super cool, great people, really nice, and really great gritty tone to her singing voice, and super super good together live on stage, just like kicking and punching and like
I
uh,
will.
they're just like Texas grit metal.
Okay. I'm gonna look it up. I really like the cover.
Okay, so then let's do a little quick throwback. So how about Santa or Tina Turner?
Oh my God. Those are fantastic. Okay. I love my Tina. I'm sorry. I gotta talk. I love that. I absolutely like. I love the movie about Tina. I love the songs about Tina. I love like her leg. I love her arms. I just love her strength. That
Yeah.
like for me, like it's huge to have role models like that that are like their bodies are built in this way that is just strong, and I
Mhm.
love that. And then obviously like voice and stage presence and backstory over what she's had to overcome. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's always like when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what do I need to do today? And then like Tina Turner voice comes in my head, she goes, Thunderdome. And then she's like, get the fuck out, get the fuck out of your bed and get your
And then
shit done.
for you.
Um, she's just yeah, like you said, she just overcame everything that was ever thrown at her, and she got so much.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, another mother,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
mother of four. Okay, and then this is the last set. So these are newer bands, LA Witch and Hoaxed.
I feel like I've heard hoaxed, but
Okay.
LA Witch.
Okay,
Huh?
so these two bands should definitely be playing a lot of shows together. I think they should be touring together. They're both three pieces. They both have a doom aspect to
I
them.
really do like Doom.
And they both have um these like laid back vocals. So they're sort of speak singing a little bit,
Yeah.
but with more melody than like Betty Davis. And they're not gritty. They're like more, I don't know what to call it. They're like doom vocals.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Now this album was recorded in 2020, or at least released in 2022, and I think this was the champion drum recording of 2022. Nobody's drums sounded better than this Hoaxed album.
Probably why I know. That's why I've heard the name before. So I'm sure that's what the conversation was talking about, the drums, I'm sure.
The bassist of this band is also in a band called Soul Grinder, and I freaking love Soul Grinder so much. Her name's April, and she's been on this show too. And so it makes me very happy that people know what she's doing. So that's
Yay.
what's up. And then I have not gotten these girls on the show yet, but they are similar. So
I
yeah.
will.
So that's it for today. Thank you so much for your time and your stories. It was great to laugh with you, and like, you're a breath of fresh air and a ray of sunshine.
Thank you.
Have a super good day, and good luck with the pond.
Good job doing what you're doing. I know, right? Hey, we gotta have that balance, like you said, all right?
It's about being a well-rounded person.
Yep.
All right,
Well,
thank
thank you much.
you. Bye.